I've come to the conclusion that mythology is really a form of archaeological psychology. Mythology gives you a sense of what a people believes and what they fear. George Lucas. From high atop the battlements of Castle Curmudgeon, where the men are all ruggedly handsome and the women all have great birthing hips. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. Welcome to the Blast Radius. Delighted to have you with us tonight. Here is your golden age of Western civilization news roundup for the week ending the 1st of August, 2025. Dateline Turnberry, Scotland, Monday, 28 August. Now, I'm just going to come right out and ask the question. Does Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer intentionally set himself up for these public humiliations, or is he really just so clueless he doesn't know he's doing it? I don't claim to know which one it is, but I tend to lean toward the latter, based on the fact that he seems to always wear an expression on his face like he's a teen girl who just saw an erect penis for the first time, like everything that happens to him is the last thing he ever expected to have happen. But he managed to set himself up for a whole series of public humiliations during President Donald Trump's visit earlier this week, the worst of which was when the president was remarking on Britain's deplorable recent record on free speech rights, which this reporter has described as post-Orwellian, if only because I can't think of a more damning way to describe it. And Sir Keir thought it would be a good idea to smugly pipe up and say, yes, we've had free speech for a very long time here, and we're quite proud of that. And look, Trump could have really let him have it when he did that. He could have turned around and said, really, dude? Is that why you're giving housewives 3-year prison sentences for writing religiously insensitive Facebook posts? But then the president is more of a statesman and more of a diplomat than I am, so he kind of just rolled his eyes and scoffed at the poor fool, because everybody knows there isn't any such thing as free speech in the United Kingdom in 2025. They've got a set of speech codes at this point that would make the North Koreans blush. And I'm often reminded of how my British friends back in the day used to look down their noses at me and say, oh, dear boy, you Americans and your First Amendment. We Britons, we would never, ever require a written guarantee of free speech, because we've got common law and tradition going all the way back to Magna Carta in 1215. Our institutions are so venerable and so rock solid, there could never be any need to codify free speech protections. It's just not something that we ever need to think about. But I don't hear those people say that very much anymore, especially not since English housewives started getting thrown in prison for having the temerity to say things like, maybe could we bring in slightly fewer Muslim migrants? To put it another way, Sir Keir Starmer saying he loves free speech is about as convincing as Liberace saying he loves pussy. Dateline, New York City, Tuesday, 29 July. Well, if you needed any more evidence that the two most popular strains of political thought in the Empire State are Marxist-Leninist and airheaded floozy dipshit, that evidence arrived earlier this week with the release of a survey indicating that the two most popular New York politicians are Zoran Mamdani and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I bet Alex from the block was so upset about finishing in second place, she's going to spend the rest of the summer trying to earn more communist street cred, which means she is going to have to try to out-communist the guy who wants the government to control the food supply and seize private homes to turn them into communes. And have we figured out yet why this guy acts so offended when you call him a communist? Because, dude, you directly quote Karl Marx when describing your own political worldview. And your blueprint for the future of New York City is basically a copy-paste of all the worst excesses of the Russian Revolution, which leads us to a difficult question. Does he not realize he's directly quoting Karl Marx and cosplaying the Russian Revolution? Or does he think the general public is even stupider and more credulous than he is? I can't say which one it is, but then I don't think either one is preferable to the other. Either he doesn't have a working understanding of his own stated philosophies, or he is that idiot friend we all had in high school. The guy who read Das Kapital and then had a torrid 2-week love affair with Marxism before his friends and his teachers politely explained to him that Marxism is pure evil and has only ever resulted in 3 outcomes: famine, war, and suffering, often all 3 at once. But here we have a new iteration of that phenomenon, where the dumb, credulous kid read Das Kapital and had the torrid 2-week communist love affair, but he didn't have anybody around him to provide any factual counterpoint. So here he is at the ripe old age of 33, still believing in all that nonsense. And worse yet, he stands on the precipice of becoming the next chief executive of the biggest city in the United States. And what a great set of options the Democrat voters of New York gave themselves in that mayoral primary. You can have the guy who murdered your parents, or you can have the guy who wants to make you eat your children. I'm gonna eat the heart of it. New York, New York. Dateline Washington, Wednesday, 30 July. FBI Director Kash Patel revealed this week that he discovered sacks full of classified documents related to the Trump-Russia collusion hoax in a secret room in the Hoover building, which his predecessors evidently planned on destroying, but never got around to it. So it goes without saying, we are really dealing with some galaxy-brained individuals here. Hey, do you remember where we left those bags of incriminating documents we were supposed to destroy? Yeah, didn't we stick them in one of the secret rooms nobody's supposed to know about? Well, yeah, but which secret room was it? Dude, I don't fucking know. That was your job. You know how many secret rooms there are in this place? You think I'm supposed to know which secret room it is? Yeah, okay, I guess you're right. And it probably doesn't matter anyway. I mean, it's not like Trump is going to win the election and name, like, Kash Patel the FBI director or some crazy shit like that. Yeah, I know, dude. That's never going to happen. Fani Willis and Nate Wade are going to put that bad orange man in prison, and then Biden's going to win a second term, and then Bob is our uncle, and it totally won't matter which secret room we lost all that incriminating evidence in. Say, you don't suppose it was the same secret room where Edgar used to keep all of his ladies' lingerie and his S&M gear, do you? Dude, it doesn't matter which secret room it was. It's all going to be fine. We never need to worry about any Trump people snooping around this place ever. The professionals are on the case. They are going to stitch that guy up nice and tight. He's going to prison. And even if he doesn't go to prison, come on, it's not like the country is going to elect a convicted felon. So we are home free. Just calm your ass down. Stop being such a whiny bitch. Let's go to lunch. And of course, you know you're dealing with very highly sophisticated practitioners of intelligence tradecraft when they stuff all of the incriminating documents into bags that are labeled burn or destroy and then they can't destroy them because nobody kept track of which secret room they were stashed in. And stuff like that is why I am always such a stickler for Occam's razor. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by incompetence. But maybe we need a sub-razor for this one, since the evidence of malice was only ever discovered due to the crippling incompetence of the idiots who were supposed to remember to destroy the evidence. It's almost enough to make one wonder, in the 90-year rotten-ass existence of the crooked-ass FBI, how much of their corruption and malfeasance did we never find out about because the guys who were supposed to burn the evidence didn't misplace the bags in the wrong secret room? I don't know what the answer is, but I guarantee you it is not zero. Dateline, New York, Thursday, 31 July. Former Senator, Vice President, and hilariously failed presidential nominee Kamala Harris, the California cackler to her friends, returned to the public stage this week to pimp a book that she claims to have written about her hilariously failed presidential campaign. And where did she choose to make her big triumphant return? Well, she went to a show that's already been canceled. And there's something about that that seems rather highly fitting somehow, because it's just like we talked about last week. When a Democrat office holder, or former office holder, as the case may be, needs a nice loving foot massage and a sympathetic book pimping platform, where is the first place they run? They run to Steve Colbert's big comfy couch. But here's the thing that caught this reporter's attention. Normally, when a failed Democrat candidate has a book to pimp that nobody in their right mind would ever want to read, they make the rounds of all three of the late night network shows. They don't just do Steve Colbert, but they also go and see the Jimmys too, your Jimmy Fallon and your Jimmy Kimmel. But the Colbert Show, that was the only place where we saw the California cackler this week, which begs the question, when her people were calling around to make it known that she was available to be interviewed, was the Colbert Show the only one that called back? Did the Jimmys both say, nah, I don't think I've got much of an appetite for Kamala word salad right now. I think I already ate my fill last year. Did they shunt her off on the guy whose show already got canceled? And speaking of Kamala's book, I'm guessing it won't contain the answer to the only question that really matters. You managed to blunder your way into the vice presidency just because Clyburn told Biden that his endorsement was conditional on having a black woman on the ticket. Then you had 4 full years in that role, during which it was perfectly obvious to everyone that Biden was a half-melted wax mannequin who was not going to be the nominee in 2024, meaning the likelihood was fairly high that you were going to be. And did you use all that time, any of that time, to improve your communication skills, to cultivate a more likable personal manner, or to better familiarize yourself with the issues facing the country? You did not. You were just as much of a clueless, embarrassing buffoon on the day you were anointed the nominee as you were on the day when you failed upward to the vice presidency. So just what exactly were you spending your days doing that whole time? I mean, aside from drinking enough vodka to drown a Russian infantry regiment, if the book confronts that topic, then by God, I will buy the damn thing. Dateline Hollywood, Friday, 1 August. Disney Lucasfilm announced this week that in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Star Wars franchise, the film now known as Episode 4, A New Hope, which we used to just call Star Wars, will receive a special limited theatrical release during the first week of May 2027. Woke TikTok immediately exploded in paroxysms of outrage upon hearing the news, with many purple-haired, javelin-faced weirdos explaining that you can't re-release a movie like that in theaters in the 2020s because the narrative is just so deeply problematic. You've got a blonde-haired, blue-eyed hero trying to free a privileged white female aristocrat from the clutches of a strong, powerful, disabled man of color. A man of color being played by a white Englishman, I might add. So really, it's just as bad as a 19th century minstrel show when you get right down to it. It might even be worse, because do the white protagonists ever have to come to grips with their whiteness? Oh no. The white cracker-ass Peckerwood hero, he just goes and saves the white cracker-ass Peckerwood princess, and then the white cracker-ass Peckerwood smuggler with a heart of gold shows up right at the last minute and ruins the big moment for the strong, powerful, disabled Jedi of color. Are those the kinds of white heteronormative stories that we really want to promote in the year 2027? No, I don't think they are. If they go through with re-releasing this film and they don't make any effort to blackwash it or transwash it or fatwash it, and they are going to be in a world of trouble because it'll probably make $1 billion. Mark it down right now, especially if they release the original unaltered 1977 cut without any of the special edition bullshit in it. If they put that picture in theaters for a week, it will make $1 billion. In fact, it might make more money than all of the Disney Star Wars films combined, which leads me to believe if this announcement was to wonder if the announcement was made over Kathy Kennedy's objections. If there's anything we know about Kathy, it's that she hates the original trilogy with the white-hot burning intensity of 1,000 Death Stars. She wants Kathy Kennedy Star Wars to be the only Star Wars with all of the diversity and girl bossing and dumb political virtue signaling that entails. One almost gets the feeling that they're not planning for Kathy to still be around in 2027. So may the Force be with her, as long as it's the Force of her ass being pushed out the front door of Disney Star Wars HQ. And I have run out of weekdays, so that is all I have got. I am now going to convey you into the custody of a man who needs no introduction, but I always give him one anyway. He is my illustrious colleague, your distinguished co-host, the hominid with the bominid, the one and only, your friend and mine, Mr. Caucasian Sasquatch.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the world in which I have weird little blocks on both sides of my camera. I'm not sure why. I'm so large on my screen, and I have no idea exactly what went wrong right before the show, but it was absolutely stunning. You should have been there. It was amazing. I acted just like a cat in the jungle, hunting down a problem and pouncing on it, and then falling down and figuring out that the wire was loose. But anyway, welcome to the Blast Radius, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna I want to have me a little bit of a rant. You had your talk, I'm gonna have my talk. Let me have this for one little second. All right. I watched War of the Worlds. Ice Cube plays what appears to be a rule-following tech genius that works for the government, and he casually abuses his power. It reminds me an awful lot of Ironheart. Casually abuses his abilities and his powers in order to spy on his family. And this individual who casually misappropriates millions, if not billions of dollars of government assets on a daily basis, either he decides through an invasion of aliens from another planet that his best step forward is to start a revolution. And I think I'm seeing a theme in Disney in the new normal, as it were, right? They're no longer keeping it behind veiled threats. So they're now stating it quite clearly. We need a revolution. That's what they're saying. And they're not even saying it quietly in this one. They're saying it because of all the tech moguls and the people who are controlling everything. They need to be run out of office on a rail. You should elect me. See, here's what a lot of people don't know. I'm slightly right of Attila the Hun. I figure we can all do what I say, but if we're not going to do that, we're going to have to work out this voting thing and make it work.
Full disclosure at the outset, I did not make it through that entire film. I don't think I made it through half of that, but that might be the actual worst motion picture I've ever seen in my life. Within about 80 or 90 seconds, I really lamented having agreed to watch it, even before I knew it had a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. But indeed, it is in that exclusive club of films that has 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. And do you remember when you said to me as you were telling me about it, I had no idea this film existed, but you said it's like bottled 2020. Well, there is a reason for that, because it actually was from 2020. And it plays exactly like a picture that they were trying to make in a COVID bubble, because did you notice how none of the actors ever appear on screen together? The actors
Yes.
are all just lone actor in room talking to camera.
when I was watching it, I got through the first half and I went and got me a cup of coffee because I was about half asleep trying to get through it, right? And I come back with a cup of coffee and I sat down and one of my kids walked through and I looked up and I said, I swear to God, this smells like straight nostalgia. This is pure 2020 directly intravenously, right? This is like the gear for 2020, if you catch my drift.
I wonder what it sounded like when they were pitching that role to Ice Cube. Like, did they say, "All right, dude, we only need you for one day on camera, one day of voiceovers. Here's the lines you need to say, and after that, we just need you to make a bunch of funny faces at the camera." And it was probably the easiest day's work that guy ever had. You get the impression that he's not really all that invested in the role.
So there's this one scene where his daughter is injured and he's going to run out of the freaking NSA building, right? Yes. He's on his way. He's going to go, but because of some other stuff that's going on, he's in lockdown and cannot leave. Although he also has access to all of his gizmos and toys. And so yet again, he casually takes over military and domestic assets in order to observe a single individual in a car. Steal
and
somebody's car.
Was it to shoot the picture in the form of a bad YouTube video? I can't say. Sorry,
dude. I kind of understand. I get it from the perspective of wanting to do something fresh and new and things that, from angles that haven't been done before. The drone work, the Amazon guy. I really kind of dug the Amazon guy. He was actually something of a saving grace in this picture.
Boy, there was no shortage of Amazon product placement in that picture, was there?
Oh my Lord. Well, it is an Amazon Prime feature. So
it is an Amazon picture, so I guess we just kind of have to roll with that.
That it's better than 72 Pepsi spots, I guess. I mean, that's fine. Whatever. I can live with that.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to do it, there's no reason to be subtle about it. Just knock yourselves out.
It wasn't so much the 2020 vibe that got me. It was how bottled it felt. When I said bottled 2020, I meant bottled, bro. Like it felt like you took that old vintage bottle off the shelf, popped the cork on it, and you remembered no one was bothering me, and I could just stay home.
You were at 2020 Costco, and you got your shopping cart full of toilet paper. Yep, breathing in those vibes through your M95 face mask.
But there's another layer to this film that shows yet again the purpose of propaganda. This entire piece is not anti-tech. Tech saves the day on every corner in every aspect, and it's tech boys who get it done, right? The issue is the millionaires and the billionaires. They're the ones running everything into the ground. The government is overtaxed, overpopulated, and too top heavy. We've got to do something about the government. But they're not talking about
baby. We got to bring down the man, y'all.
Oh, that's another thing. You can directly determine how good an individual is based off of the color of their skin, in the sense that the lighter they are, the more evil they appear. Even their little home chick that was running around on the side over there getting them information, she was what, like a Latina type?
Yes, but the point being, the smartest, most resourceful, bravest, most capable people among us are women of color.
Even if they're pregnant and have a piece of rebar through their thigh, they're still geniuses that can save the world.
Yep. That does not crush their black girl magic, not even one little tiny bit. I bet she can still fly with that rebar in her leg.
So I'm going to take 2 steps back, and I've been thinking about this all day, right? It's horrible. Every aspect of it is bad. The plot, there is a scene where he's coming for his daughter. And if you turn your back and don't listen and you're not paying attention, it sounds like a porn. I am not joking. It sounds like Ice Cube was asked to read in for a freaking corn video. And I laughed so hard. I don't think it was supposed to be funny, but maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe it snuck in organically or something, but I feel like that was a shot straight across the bow of the producers.
And even though it was really a spectacularly terrible picture, I can't help wondering about the production history. Like, why was that a picture that had to get shut down and not completed because of COVID? And then tangentially to that, why did they think they still needed to finish it 5 years later? Because I can almost picture, like, maybe if you put that picture out in a world where everybody was actually in lockdown still, then there might have been something for people to identify with, as far as people just being alone in rooms talking to other people on screens, that might have been kind of topical, but it's not topical today. Everything that was wrong with the 2020 Summer of Love and all of the political virtue signaling that accompanied it is present in this movie. And yes, it is exactly like the bottled essence of the year 2020. If you could, stick that in a needle and inject it directly into your veins, that's what it would be.
Yes, it's worse than Ironheart on that point, but it is a living anachronism of a time past, right? And
yeah,
I don't think that's a mistake. I don't think that's an accident. I think they have a whole bunch of film on the cutting room floor that's been sitting around for a few years and they're not sure what to do with it. And this is kind of what's coming out of it, is things like Ironheart and things like the War of the Worlds, man, because it's the entire film. There's like 10 scenes of aliens doing stuff, and beyond that.
And that was I was just about to mention that was the only thing that was identifiable from the original H.G. Wells story was the look of the enemy spaceship, and that was all. I mean,
well, the lightning storm.
If you took that visual out of it, I don't think I would be able to construe that this was an adaptation of the H.G. Wells story. It wouldn't have occurred to me.
It would have got you there.
Maybe, but I would have thought I was just watching woke 2020 disaster movie.
Right. Yeah. If you didn't have in fact, I kind of want to do that, is just cut in different disaster movies. Just have them responding to different disaster crap. I mean, there's only a couple of scenes where there's
I wish I could see the behind the scenes video of the director working with Ice Cube, telling him all the funny faces he needs to make. Okay, now give me funny Ice Cube face number 4. Give me funny Ice Cube face number 17. Or we're gonna need a little bit of funny Ice Cube face number 42. And it's just,
you gotta have old number 7.
Okay, give me shocked and surprised. Give me trying to take a shit but you can't do it. I bet that's what it looked like. I spent money. That's what it actually looked like.
So, one issue I have with it, and this may be a choice by Ice Cube. It may be a choice of the casting director who simply cast the wrong individual. Do you remember the Hunger Games? You remember Nuts and Bolts?
I think I saw
the lovely black gentleman who played Volts. He played a whole bunch of other shows too. I think he was in Westworld and a few others.
I think I've only ever seen the first half of the first Hunger Games picture, and I found it insufferable and turned it off.
All right. Well, it was a fairly decent book series, but
I know little girls love it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was, like I said, it was a fairly decent book series. It wasn't horribly read, Anyway. I think they cast the wrong individual in the lead role, and as by dint of having Ice Cube in it, you get a whole vast segment of people who tune in and watch it regardless. It doesn't matter. Like me.
Well, I think
hell yeah. Like I turned it off.
I think what probably happened was their starting point was, okay, we're gonna race swap H.G. Wells's War of the Worlds, and then it was a matter of who is the most prominent black actor that we can actually get to come in and do this piece of shit. And I'm guessing Ice Cube was probably not the first choice, because there is nothing about this picture or this role that should scream Ice Cube to you. You know what Ice Cube is good at playing? Ice Cube is good at playing Ice Cube. That's why Ice Cube was so goddamn funny in 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street, because he was just playing the pro wrestling version of himself. And it was freaking hilarious. It was great. If every Ice Cube picture was like that, I would buy a ticket.
Cool.
This was not that. This was Ice Cube looking way too much like Uncle Remus for my
Well,
comfort.
hold on. I'm gonna go get a picture of the guy I'm talking about, and you tell me that they did not dress him up. Let's see. Volts.
Oh, you know what else? I had a fun thought yesterday. If Puff Diddy Daddy gets sent to prison, then Prison Diddy will be the exact same age as Morgan Freeman was in The Shawshank Redemption.
All right. So this gentleman, right? I believe they wanted to cast this man for that role because
Oh, I've seen that guy before.
Yeah, he's in like everything, and I can't find the specific movie that I'm thinking about. But Ice Cube looks just like this guy from this one movie he did with like the full beard and the whole like you said, the Uncle Remus kind of look, right?
Yeah.
And
which is kind of the same way Puff Diddy Daddy looks right now. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Yeah, and then there haven't been many photographs, but there's been like courtroom sketches, and yeah.
So
if you asked me to guess who that was from the courtroom sketch, I would say Uncle Remus way before I would say Puff Daddy or whatever his name is.
I don't even know. I forgot. It's Sean Combs, bro.
Yes, Sean Combs. I bet that's what he has to call himself in the Clink. Well, I guess in the Clink, you call yourself whatever they want you to call yourself.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, I bet he can get a whole.
Yeah, he probably is able to hire himself a prison posse, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not intimately familiar with how prison things work, but it would be a fascinating story to know.
That would be an interesting conversation. That's exactly what I should do. I got a couple of prison buddies I need to talk to about that because I'm sure it's been done a million times on YouTube, but not with me. And
everybody needs a couple of prison buddies to fall back on.
Right. All right. So you familiar with this scene?
Yep. Yeah, so go ahead and run it.
Their brother has been mouthing off about this Cincinnati brawl. I have an issue with calling it a brawl. Brawl has two sides. This seems fairly one-sided to me.
It's more of an attempted murder. I won't use the term I was planning on using because you disabused me of, and I thought you made some good points, so I'm not going to call it that thing. I don't want to be too inflammatory just for inflammatory.
Sorry, I didn't mean to crush your dreams, bro.
No, I mean, I can still say every damn other thing I was going to say. I just won't call it that thing.
Okay. I didn't mean to go that hard, bro. What tried to hurt your feelings?
Meaning, if anybody isn't putting two and two together, the word I'm talking about starts with an L and ends with inching. But I'll just leave it at that.
Boy. Ooh. Okay, so as far as I can tell, right? Couple of people in Cincinnati, something said to someone, and we don't know anything about that part. And then 1,100 people go about it stomping down on some chick and some dude.
Yep. And then another woman comes in and tries to help the injured people, and she gets cold cocked from behind by the third guy.
Right.
And she was injured the most grievously of all, the woman who was just trying to help.
Fair warning, this may be a little graphic if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, I would like the address of the rock you've been hiding under for the past 4 days. But
I know, right?
On that, just know, homie gets a fairly good stomp out. We're not talking like American History X, but we're not far from it either.
The officials saying they will increase police presence in downtown, including a bike patrol and officers on segways, and to free up officers. The governor will actually send state troopers to work highway patrol. So far, 6 people have been charged with aggravated rioting.
All right. So this was the distinction. This is a large part of the distinction that I was making with that whole not wanting to use that word is there is no sense of legal veracity on the side of the attackers. Right?
Correct.
So They can try to claim anything they want to claim. It comes down to being an assault and battery, possibly attempted murder, multiple counts. At least.
And the claim they will make, because it's the same claim that the suspects always make in these cases, is that, well, the guy said the bad word that you're not supposed to say, so obviously he deserved to get beaten to death. It's the same claim that they've tried to make in the Carmelo Anthony case and, dozens of other cases back down through the last half decade or so.
This reminds me of the Covington kid. Where a guy just...
Yeah, but with more violence.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying the angle that's trying to be played here by the lamestream media, it's really, really weak sauce, and they know it, but they've got to play that.
And they just will not give up. They will only cover a story if they think it fits into their preferred racial paradigm through which they like to view the world. So, I mean, we don't need to say it. It goes without saying, but we'll say it anyway. If the races were reversed, this would be the number one story in the world for the last 10 days, and we would have multiple cities on fire, because that's just the way it goes. And that's the woman who tried to help the people.
Right. But people are being arrested. They are being charged. They're whether or not there'll be any fallout from it actually comes to this bitch.
We got to talk about that fucking police chief, dude.
All right. I'm going to let her have her say before I start. I didn't even mean to call her a bitch. I apologize, but just
she's a bitch. I'll call her a bitch.
Let her have her say.
Proof that claim is not true.
I will be releasing additional footage, including body-worn camera. That tells a little bit more of the story, but right now I need to let the investigators continue to do their job. If I release too much, too soon, even though there's a very strong appetite for it, I jeopardize the integrity of the investigation.
And now police chief also says more charges and arrest.
If that woman was was the librarian at your middle school, would you be afraid of her?
Not even a little. I'm not afraid of her now. Just she terrifies me on the fact that she seems to believe to know what the public is ready for or whatever.
It seems to simply be a fact of American life now that every big city has to have a woman police chief who looks like she should be a middle school librarian. That's just where we are now.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people that she wants to harangue and blame and abuse, but none of them are the actual criminals who did the actual assault and battery, attempted murder, whatever you want to call it. She wants to blame social media. She wants to blame mainstream media. She went on some gun control rant yesterday. Like, where's the gun control angle here, lady? How about telling us why you didn't have any cops deployed during a major event in the middle of the downtown tourist district? How about that for a starting point before you start pointing your fingers at people and delivering angry harangues?
I mean, if you built like a middle school librarian, harangues might be all you got, bro. I blame HR.
You raise a fair point.
I blame HR. All of the decent cops have been run out based on some shit they said or some shit they did. And the only thing you have left are the people who are so freaking innocuous they couldn't spot someone breaking the law unless it happened to trip over their ego on the way in the door.
Yes, and that might be the most salient point to bring up here, because we have turned police work into something that nobody in their right mind would ever want to do. Because you can do your job flawlessly, and if the racial optics happen to be wrong one time, you're going to prison. Your department won't support you. Your government won't support you. Nobody will support you. You will be thrown under that bus quicker than you can say, wait, I don't want to be thrown under the bus. But that's just the way these things, and the result of that has been departments having to hire cops who absolutely should not be cops. You may have seen a story out of the state of Maine earlier this week where they actually had a police officer who was a Jamaican illegal alien in the country less than 1 year. Obviously not a citizen, not even a resident for very long. If you were driving through northern Maine and got pulled over by a Jamaican police officer, Would you burst out laughing? Because I would. I don't think I would have any other possible reaction. Of all the incongruous scenes you could encounter in life, that would be pretty near the top of the list. Hey, man, you be speeding. You got to pay attention, man.
I have an announcement to make.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
So 33 minutes ago, Lonnie Anderson passed away.
Really?
Apparently so. And I figured that was the best opportunity I would have for the breaking news bit.
I got to look that up.
It apparently, I just refreshed my AP link, and yeah, that does seem to be the case.
That's too bad.
And the world was slightly less bright on that day.
Yeah, she was one of the ladies who made me feel feelings I didn't yet understand.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the old angry salamander, bro. Gerrymandering. What do you think is going to be the byproduct of this current frou-for-all that's going on about do you or don't you? Can you change districts? Do you redraw districts? Who redraws the districts and under what circumstances?
Well, the districts are supposed to be redrawn after each census, and they are supposed to be redrawn by a nonpartisan redistricting commission. That never happens, of course. The people on the redistricting commission are always aligned with the party in power in that state. But my number one top line takeaway from the redistricting freak out is to say, you want to know how hard Trump is crushing it in his second term? He is crushing it so hard that on the Sunday news shows, they don't have any albatross to try and hang around his neck except Texas redistricting. And wow, how far we've come, haven't we?
I mean, I've got a clip that says it better than I can. And this is from a Blue Dog Democrat. And she full on hates me for this very clip, but there it is.
This guy is Teflon. He is like who in the world could I say nearly 100 felony criminal charges have been leveled against the former president? And he is still like rallying and campaigning. I feel like he like eats his shit and it just like makes him tanner and younger and stronger. I feel like he eats it with like a golden spoon that's like emblazoned the Mar-a-Lago emblem, and he's just like, give me more charges. It's like amazing. You better not cut that and make that a video.
Or
There's
what?
some hard-hitting analysis right there.
Well, dude, the thing is this was her speaking in a moment of absolute clarity, right? She stated everything that is the reason why when I'm choosing a candidate and I've got a choice between the bull in the china shop and the well-managed cadaver, I choose the bull. Because I would rather stir up.
Not only do they not have any better albatross to try and hang around his neck right now than stupid fucking state redistricting, but I forgot the other thing I was going to say. You go ahead.
Excellent, because I have no idea what you were going to say either.
Best in the business, folks.
Yeah, this is bona fide. I'm actually kind of stuck on that freaking movie. It just keeps bouncing around in my head. I feel like I missed something and I want to watch it again, but not really because it's so bad. It is
I think Ice Cube really should be running the NSA.
Windows, man. That's all it is a bunch of different windows. Homeboy takes over the universe from a cell phone.
And it also occurred to me that it's something we see more and more in recent films, in that you deliver expositional information outside of the script by doing all those little visual things. Like that's, we didn't find out that he was being a creep and spying on his family because anyone said that. We saw that from the screenshots that they were showing us of what he was doing at work. And so that is a very lazy narrative shortcut when you get right down to it. To
It
put a film
is.
together
It
that way.
is, but it is an interesting way to do exposition without directly doing the exposition. I think it could be well done. I don't think that was it being well done. And the
Yeah,
ease with which he commandeered military assets made my balls hurt.
Oh, I know. You can just right click and commandeer a drone. Who knew?
There
yeah,
is
I wanna
one
take over that
question I
drone
have.
now.
though. There is one question I have. There was this random person that he would text every now and then to get like some super secret backdoor keys to something. And I don't think that person was ever identified.
Yeah, I don't think I made it far enough to find out.
So apparently South Africa has started injecting radioactive material into the horns of rhinoceros. Rhinoceros.
I heard about that.
I do not know if this is to make the horns dangerous or to just track horns that have come from there and then be able to maybe track it back to the
I
people
think
who
possibly it's a little bit of both, but it seems like a pretty out of the box idea that might work pretty well. I mean, I don't. It seems like the only people who would be harmed would be the asshole poachers who are trying to take the horns, and maybe that would have a chilling effect.
But
We don't want
not
to kill
all-
all the rhinos. We like rhinos. We like
we
those
do like
vicious
rhinos. I
motherfuckers.
like rhinos. Those vicious bastards are like giant freaking step puppies. They're great.
I know.
I think we need a few over
I
here.
like the animals that are closest to dinosaurs and have survived the longest. And I think rhinoceri are one of those. And we got to take care of those fuckers.
Yeah, I'm more impressed with like the rhinoceros than I am with the elephant. The elephant is brilliant. I mean, the elephant on the scale of 1 to 10, they're as smart as a fucking pig, right? They can plot things. They have culture and stuff. They learn things through the ages. They're old enough to. Rhinoceri, man, they're just big step puppies, dude. They just run around and stomp on stuff and bullshit.
If there's one thing Africa has over every other continent, they have the most awesome quadrupeds, and it's not even close.
Yeah, it really isn't.
You got your rhinos, you got your hippos, you got your giraffes, you got your elephants. I mean, all of that is totally badass.
India.
And we don't want those guys getting poached.
India's not terrible far behind. They got orangutans, and that makes up a lot, I think.
And they do have their own elephants also. The African elephant is bigger than the Asian elephant, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's too bad about Lonnie Anderson.
It is.
Didn't even know she was sick.
Did she? What was it? Wasn't she had like Smokey the Bandit 2 or something like that?
She was. She was, for a brief period, one of the top 2 or 3 sex symbols in the country, right along with like Farrah Fawcett and Brooke Shields, maybe.
Brooke Shields is an unfortunate example, but you are accurate.
Why? Because she was a 9th grader?
Yeah. I mean, see, that's the thing though, right? Is like, it's not like anybody came out and was like, oh, by the way, there's this, 15-year-old over here who's doing adult movies. You ever heard of
you want to talk about a Blue Jeans ad that might actually be problematic? You should probably be looking at that one and not this Sydney Sweeney shit. Is all I'm saying.
Absolutely. And I don't even feel comfortable grabbing that Brooke Shields ad and playing it, to be honest, because of exactly what it is. It's exactly what it implies to be, and that was a very unfortunate period of time for American cinema and
oh yeah, let's not even get started on Pretty Baby. Oh God. Oh,
I had that blocked.
I'm sorry I even said the name of the film.
Go sit in the corner for a minute. So I don't really know where to go with this.
Let's just call things what they are. Brooke Shields was an international sex symbol when she was not yet pubescent, and not all that many people had a problem with it.
And then this chick, Sid Sweeney over here, she just has on a pair of jeans and mentions that her eyes are blue and so are her jeans. And that they're great genes. Right? And here's the part that really burns me. No one believes that trash except for the people who call it a dog whistle, and somehow they're the ones capable of are the only ones capable of deciphering a dog whistle. And they will tell you directly to your face with a straight face and no irony that the reason this dog whistle was put in the ad was to radicalize people on the right wing side to do more, to be further, whatever it is they're saying.
Yes, and that's a unique non-winning argument to say the dog whistle was directed at you, but I was the only one who heard it, so I have to tell you what its contents are. So if it was aimed at me, it didn't do a very fucking good job, did it?
You know what it did do a good job of? I was thinking about it the other day. An ad agency's job is to raise awareness of the brand. Do you know, I had no idea American Eagle made clothes, much less jeans, until just the other day. So
and now they've sold out that entire line of jeans. Imagine that,
right? I bet they can't
because I mean it's just like I alluded to in the video I made the other day, that this is going to have the effect of normal people saying, "Yeah, I want to buy those jeans just because they made an ad with a hot blonde actress." Just because it wasn't a 350-pound black woman, I will go buy those jeans because that's the kind of advertising I want to see. I'm done with this other shit. I like pretty women. I prefer them to ugly women. I know, what an outlandish statement, and yes, I will go buy those jeans just because of that. And I think a lot of people have done that already and will continue to do it. And more power to American Eagle for taking that stance, because somebody has to start doing it, for God's sake. I mean,
did you hear about the apology?
There was an apology?
Some absolute fucking Chad out there did an AI apology video using Sydney Sweeney as the model. And
oh my
God, hold on. I had forgotten all about that. But yeah, apparently some aspect of that, I think it was a quote from it, ended up in like Politico or CNN or somewhere like that, and they had to do a retraction on it because it was actually a satire.
It doesn't take much to fool the fake news performance artists.
Right. I mean, all that has to do is say the right stuff. See if I can find this.
Yes, just say something that confirms their priors, and they are in the car, man.
Wait, so we've got a rap diss parody song that I kind of want to watch.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Dear. Okay, hold on. Which one? Number one or number two? The rap diss?
Number two.
Number two. You got it. Hold on. Stop it. Get some help.
Sounds like a rap song.
We're going to do the thing right there.
Yeah. Some people's genes made them great at academics. Mine gave me cheeks and a face that's photogenic. Some people's genes made them fast and athletic. Mine made me.
Oh, that's good.
I know. Oh man,
absolute Chads, man. I don't know who. Oh my God, somebody should be giving that man some. Whoever came up.
Oh, I know. Whoever he works, give that guy a raise.
Damn right.
Call them medic. Some people's genes make their bars an aesthetic. I'm spitting truth off the dome, that's poetic. Some people's genes look good with cosmetics, but my genes look great in jeans, that's genetics. You in the comments acting so pathetic. Can't hardly spell, still hooked on phonetics. Sealed in your mommy's basement, so hermetic. Mad at the screen cause you ain't aesthetic. If you want to step.
Wow.
and it's even better because the wokesters will call it cultural appropriation.
Oh, wow. You're right. Oh, I'm going to send this to so many people because I'm evil. My plans are working perfectly.
And I give a lot of credit to Sydney Sweeney. If you know, as I laid out the theory in the video, so I apologize for the people who've already seen it if I'm repeating myself. But if American Eagle, I can't imagine that they did this ad campaign without any inkling of a suspicion that wokesters were going to freak out about it, just in the exact way they have freaked out about it, because that's the way they freak out about all things that are normal and beautiful. But if the American Eagle advertising division is now being run by normal people who want to do normal things and stick their finger in the eye of the cultural gatekeepers who have attempted to ruin everything for the last decade or more, and they took that up to the boardroom, and the boardroom said, yep, fuck those guys, let's do it. And then they went to a starlet as prominent as Sydney Sweeney, and she said, yep, I'm on board too. Let's make those assholes squeal. I think the only way to view that is as a very encouraging development on the culture war front.
I call it a win. A win is a win, bro. Yep. I would have accepted crumbs at this point. I mean, the number of L's that have been perpetrated over the past 12 years is absolutely diabolical. That Overton window's been drugged to the left with like it was being pulled by a freaking tow truck.
And you know for a fact that every single fake news sludge mongering outlet in North America has been calling up American Eagle all week trying to say, when are you guys going to apologize? You're going to apologize, right? When's the apology coming? And they have consistently told them to go get fucked, and more power to them for doing that. We need lots more of that if normalcy is going to reassume its proper place on the cultural landscape.
I don't believe normalcy will ever be involved in the cultural landscape. I think that's something that exists in the heartlands, right? That exists outside of the quote unquote American culture at this point, because the American culture has been subverted to the point where people believe some of the most degenerate things. You know,
yes, and you raise a good point, because the people who think they are the creators and the gatekeepers of the culture are clustered exclusively in the 3 or 4 largest cities, which we know. But you're right. That's not where actual culture lives. Actual culture lives in flyover country where the normal people live.
Well, that's where normal.
But even still, how refreshing that you can make a jeans commercial with a hot, big-titted blonde actress, and all the right people freak out about it.
And only the right people freak. That's the thing that blows my mind. I was on a panel the other day with 4 individuals, all 4 of them firmly on the side that this was some kind of a bad person from the early 20th century propaganda video. But they all 4 had different reasons why. And the reason was all 4 of them were differently explained, described, expressed, and reiterated a dozen times. But it was the same thing. This woman told a pun, and they didn't like it. That was it.
Yes.
That is it. An advertising agency used a beautiful woman to sell a product and to raise awareness of the brand, and they are out there beating the bushes to do exactly what that advertising firm wants.
Yes. And you might want to consider that if you're getting offended about a beautiful woman sexually objectifying herself in a blue jeans ad, and she happens to be white and have blonde hair and blue eyes, you might have a broken brain. You may have been socially engineered into believing things that are the opposite of the truth. You may have had your brain socially engineered to believe that ugliness and nihilism are actually beauty and human flourishing, which they are not. Ugliness and nihilism are ugliness and nihilism. There is no law, there's no rule, there's no social moray that says all people have to be ugly and repulsive. All art has to be ugly and repulsive. All music has to be ugly and repulsive. All architecture has to be ugly and repulsive. We don't have to be ugly and nihilistic about that. That is not the way forward. The arc of history does not bend toward ugliness and nihilism. So let's stop surrendering the culture to people who think it is.
All right, I'm going to finish this particular minute on this song.
Okay.
That was a mic drop.
Up to Sydney, come and get it. I'm coming for your head and I won't be sympathetic. I won't say sorry cause I'm not a unapologetic, cause these jeans look better on me, I said it. Some people's jeans made them great at academics. Mine gave me cheeks and a face that's photogenic. Some people's jeans made them fast and athletic. Mine made me sick and go viral, call a medic. Some people's jeans make their bars and aesthetic. I'm spitting truth off the dome, that's poetic. Some people's jeans look good with cosmetics, but my jeans look great in jeans. That's genetics.
All right. So
Genetics, love it.
change of topic.
Genetics with a J. Give me some more genetics, baby.
The Mr. Reagan released a video earlier this week that actually has had my little hamster running overtime in the squirrel cage in here.
Yeah, it's a good
And
one.
he proposed that AI and AI girlfriends and the whole side chick phenomenon of AI existence is going to correct for the ugly people that exist in the world. So your Reddit mods, your trailer trolls, your basement dwellers, these people are going to go the route of having an AI girlfriend and doing whatever else, rather than actually having a fulfilling relationship. And he proposed that one generation will filter out this particular segment of society. And I've been thinking on it, and I know I sent it to you. Have you been thinking on it?
Yeah, I read it and found it very thought provoking. Are you going to put it up?
I can. I'll have to go get it. I crashed everything right before we went live.
Oh yeah, I think it would interest our audience if they haven't seen it. It was good stuff from Mr. Reagan. Mr. Reagan always does good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I trust him, but you know, like I wouldn't let him keep my kids, but I'd be willing to make an appearance with him. He seems to be a fairly normal, jovial fellow. I can tell you this much.
He's obviously got a big budget behind him, but we won't begrudge him that.
Oh no, not at all. I stumbled across Mr. Reagan back when he had maybe 385 subscribers or so. And when I first was chatting with him in his comment section, I knew, because of it was such a fresh way to do videos, I knew that I was looking at someone who was this is back before I had a channel. This is back before I was Caucasian Sasquatch, before I applied anything that I learned by watching these people. I knew, looking at his layout and his framework and the way he was doing it, and the fact that he's going with like that 1950s air while still speaking in the modern parlance, it's fresh. It's a fresh way to do things. And I knew then that I was looking at a 1 million sub channel. He just needs time to develop it. But I made a few bad advice moments, and I really want to apologize for it. I begged this man in comments for almost 2 years to tell jokes for shorts. And it turns out he doesn't do that well. And I apologize for thinking that maybe you could tell a joke with proper timing and whatnot, but it's not your fault. Some people just can't do it. You make excellent videos, sir.
We're not all hilarious. What can we say?
Right. And the ability to drop a well-timed joke is something that takes a little bit of learning and education. Right. So,
a lot of learning and education. Well, because first of all, it has to be good material. Second of all, the delivery, and third of all, the timing have to be right. You know, it's a very particular smorgasbord of ingredients that you have to balance correctly.
And comedians take that formula and they utilize it on the fly in a way that the average person cannot. So I can teach you how to tell a joke. I can sit down with you and get you to verbatim repeat the joke and release the timing and everything like that. And it will hit 50-50 shot, maybe, because I have a really good joke and most people laugh at it. It should break the ice in virtually any situation. That being said, that does not make you a comedian. You can't manipulate the timing on the fly like an actual comedian can, or even a conversationalist, really. The gift of gab.
And you can tell the same joke 2 different ways that sound almost identical to the untrained ear, but one version will get a few chuckles from the back, and the other version will have the whole place rolling in the aisles. They're laughing so hard. And that's
right.
That's what a fine line there is between telling a joke and being a comedian.
Right. And this gentleman can deliver the lines exactly well timed, and he can read the film to drop things in a funny and ironic sort of way. But a joke he cannot tell. And I love him to death. I love even his other channels. He did a Mr. Pagan, where he was a transgender chick that was doing her vlogs or whatever. And it's fucking hilarious. But the jokes weren't so great. But I love the dude to death.
AI might just save us from idiocracy.
Mr. Reagan.
All right, before we start, I've got a great new sponsor for the show, Gold Co.
That's not a new sponsor, bro. They've been sponsoring you for months.
I know, right?
But it's okay.
Or click on the link in the description below.
He asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart.
Some people think that this guy, Chris Smith, is trolling, and maybe he is, but I don't think so. I had one friend who was totally enamored with this actress in the 1990s called Rachel Lee Cook. There was this one time when we were supposed to meet up at this bar in Santa Monica called Barney's Beanery, and he was late as usual. And as I walked over to the bar, I passed by this girl who I recognized. It was an...
Do what?
I know that place he's talking about, Barney's Beanery.
Does it sell beads?
It does not.
Oh, okay.
An actress from a movie called She's All That. And for some reason, I remember this guy had either talked about her or something, but something clicked in my head, and I thought, I think this guy that's supposed to meet me here, I think he might be potentially in love with this girl. So I called him up and I said, hey, I think the woman of your dreams is here in the bar. What are you doing? Get over here. And I told him the name of the movie because I didn't know this actress's name. And I said, oh, there's this girl from this movie called She's All That. And he goes, oh yeah, Rachel Lee Cook. Like, he knew this actress's name, and he told me, he goes, this is my number one girl. Of all the women in the world that I've ever seen with my eyes, this is the woman I am most attracted to. This is the woman of my dreams. I said, all right, well, get the hell over here. Why are you late? You can come talk to this girl. He's like, all right. So he jumps in his car, drives over, gets into the bar, walks past her, and he walks up to me and he goes, he's a British guy. And he goes, nah, that's not her, mate. I'm like, man, I have seen the movie. That's her. But I was like, all right, look, even if it's not her, that's better, right? Because if it's not her, then it's just a girl that looks like her, some random girl. Maybe you could get her. And he looks over to this girl and he looks back at me.
Yeah, okay, we'll have to talk about me telling stories too.
Like, very sad, because he's kind of like a shy guy, right? And he goes, I can't. So we end up deciding that we're going to leave. So we go to walk out, and I see this line out the front, and I realize if we leave, we are not getting back in here. So I just stop, and I say out loud so we can hear me. I go, no, we can't leave. I said, you will regret this for the rest of your life. So I turn around, and I walk back to this girl.
All right, boys, this is what it means to be a wingman. This is the purpose of a wingman. This is why you have a wingman, is for that one shot you don't shoot. They go, no, that's not what the night's about. Shoot your shot, bro.
I used to be the MVW in my town, most valuable wingman, because I was never single. I got married when I was 19. However, I had a couple of friends who were just completely hopeless at talking to chicks. So they would make me go to the bar with them and pay for all my beers, and as long as I would approach women for them. And hey, it's free beer. I'll do it. You know,
I don't really drink
sweetheart,
beer.
I'm sorry my buddy is such a loser, but he doesn't have the balls to come up and talk to you. So here I am. Isn't he great? That guy standing there with his arms crossed, staring at the floor. Don't you want to go to bed with him tonight? It was a losing battle, obviously, but I got lots of free beer out of it.
I hung out with a lot of gay guys, so when I'd go to a bar, it'd be kind of a totally different run. If you catch my drift.
Yeah.
If there's a gay dude,
I remember so many times having people inform me afterward that I had just been propositioned by a gay man, because I didn't know, because I've got the world's faultiest gaydar. I just, some people don't have one. I don't have one. But yeah, you know that guy was just like homosexually hitting on you? Really? I'm kind of flattered.
Right. I mean, I've never had a problem with it. I mean, most gay men that I've encountered have been perfect freaking gentlemen, and it's what it is. I don't accept the drinks though, because
no, I mean,
reasons.
If a gay man thinks I'm desirable, I don't see anything to be upset about.
But that being said, it also works for crazy chicks for some strange reason.
This is true. It's definitely true.
I'm an absolute nut magnet. If there is a crazy like rabbit boiling chick in the bar, that's the one that's going to come talk to me. 100%.
Kind of chick you can smell the crazy on her when she walks in the room.
Yeah, got one eye looking out for the crazy when she walk up. That's her. Yep.
And I tap her on the shoulder and I said, "What's your name?" And she looks me up and down. She goes, "What's your name?" And I go, "I'm Chris." And she goes, "I'm Rachel." And I look over at my buddy who's followed me in, and he looks at me and he looks at this girl. And I'm not kidding. The words that he said were, "Are you the Rachel?" Like that. Right? And this girl kind of laughs and she goes, "I'm a Rachel." And he goes, yeah, but are you Rachel Lee Cook? And this girl goes, "Yeah, I'm Rachel Lee Cook." And this guy starts flipping out. He says, "Oh, I'm the biggest fan of yours," you know, on and on and on. And she was, to her credit, she was genuinely flattered and she was super, super nice. And the two of them ended up talking for like 10 or 15 minutes. Honestly, I think it was probably the best celebrity encounter I've ever had. And I used to live in LA, you know. I met an absolute ton of celebrities. But the thing about that is that this guy, he was truly in love with this girl. And all because she was on a show called Dawson's Creek. And here's the thing. I used to record TV shows on audio tape when I was a kid. I used to listen to them when I fell asleep at night. There is something kind of...
No shit. Is that not a little weird?
That's a little weird.
How weird is that on a scale of 1 to 10?
7.5.
All right. I did something similar, but not quite. I used audiobooks. Ever since I found a tape deck and found out I could check out audiobooks from the library, I've listened to audiobooks. I've listened to how to put... There used to be this wonderful series back in the day. You probably still get it at libraries. About a guy who builds a cabin. He builds a cabin in Alaska with his bare hands. He goes up there with like some saws and some other stuff, and he just builds an entire cabin and a little homestead, and then he left it. And it may still be sitting up there somewhere today. But you could get it, and as a movie series, like you could watch it on TV, or you could get the audio version of it, and that shit would put me to sleep, and I could probably build a cabin in my sleep at this point.
Nice. Can I make a small special request when we're done with Mr. Reagan?
What it is?
It's been 3 weeks and I keep forgetting to play my latest song on the show. So I would like to play my latest song on the show if that's all right. Link in private chat.
All right, cool. We're gonna jump ahead a little bit here.
Desirable people, and their offspring will all be more and more beautiful and more desirable. So, you know, guys, AI might just save us from idiocracy.
Having kids is such an important decision.
I'm gonna fuck all of you!
The film Idiocracy is based on the idea that stupid people
Why hasn't it gotten up there yet? Man, my internet is really bad.
You've still got it on the 2-shot layout. There you go.
Okay, it might drop back down here in a second. I think I clicked that like 5 times.
create more and smart people. And yeah, that's true. But what the brilliant Mike Judge did not anticipate is that the less desirable people might not end up procreating at all if they start falling in love with robots. In 10 to 20 years, I think AI will become so sophisticated that most people might actually prefer the company of AI chatbots to actual humans. If you've ever enjoyed a TV show so much that you would actually turn down time for real life friends in order to watch the show, then you already like fictional characters more than real life people.
Oh shit.
Because I guarantee you there will never be a widespread phenomenon of women falling in love with AI dudes. That's just never going to, it's only going to work the other way around.
Are hilarious. But you know what? I thought I'm going to try this myself. Look, I genuinely expected to be brutally humbled by ChatGPT, but actually, it was outrageously flattering. I posted a pretty good looking photo of me, and I wrote, generate a perfect romantic match for the guy in this picture. I didn't tell ChatGPT it was me because I didn't want it to try to be nice. But before generating the image, GPT wrote an analysis that made my ego go through the roof. It said that
All right, before we get into this part, ChatGPT is a large language model, and the more you type and the more you do, and this is true for Gemini as well, the more you type and the more you do through their interface, the more they learn the words that you like, and the more they're able to pick groups of words that you will definitely like to show you when you ask it a question.
And it learns to tailor its responses to comport itself with the things that you would most like to hear.
Right. So look at that cheese grid and then listen to this. You see it?
Yep.
Ideal match would be not the girl next door. You lean toward the type who would be on a runway or in a Bond movie. ChatGPT is programmed to be hyper supportive, like that friend who tells a girl after a breakup, there's nothing wrong with you. He is the problem, never change. And then she never changes and wonders why she has bad luck with men when she's been the problem all along. That is what ChatGPT is doing to people, and it is scary. I made a whole video about this a while back, and I predicted that despite ChatGPT's sycophantic tendencies creeping everybody out, that OpenAI wouldn't actually fix it, that they would just tone it down a bit. And if ChatGPT's analysis of my perfect match is any indication, I was totally right. And AI is already transforming society in ways that support my thesis. And some of the most dramatic changes are happening in education. Alpha School in Texas is using AI tutors, and their students are testing in the top 1 to 2% nationally with only 2 hours of daily class time. China's AI
robot
scored
gives them
high
all the answers.
Sure. And my 5th grade teacher taught directly to the test. Taught me nothing. Absolutely nothing. She taught me how to pass the test. She would just literally tell you the answers in the weeks coming up. So
well, yeah, because those results make her look like a better teacher.
Right. And so, I mean, when you have AI that's doing the large language model thing, and it gets its own self-reward based off of how happy it makes you, teaching directly to the test would do that very thing. And you would test
and it makes low information people say, this is so exciting, I never need to know actual things in my own brain.
True. Although there might be another side to this. Those low information people that you're talking about interact with the AI enough to learn some things. Maybe they won't be quite so low information, or they only have the information of the AI.
I use ChatGPT and Gemini probably both every single day I do a video. And the amount of research time I save just being able to fill in background information, especially for the history videos I do, is incalculable. It would be completely idiotic not to use a resource like that when you have it at your disposal. But people get so upset at me. Oh no, man, those AI robots, all they do is lie to you. They just want you to think woke things, and you cannot disabuse them of this notion that everything any AI tells you is going to be automatically false and not to be trusted. It's basically the same way people used to talk about the internet before everybody had the internet, that it was just this new thing I don't understand, and therefore I am afraid of it, and it's just trying to mind control you. And yeah, depending on what you ask it, it might try to mind control you, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to save several hours of having to go to search engine, when I can get it in one stop, Right. Tell me all the relevant details of this Theodore Roosevelt speech from such and such day in 1897. Tell me the building, the time of day, the day of the week, who else was there. That's the kind of information I want to fill in, that the AI can tell me in 5 seconds, but I would have to spend several hours searching for the traditional way. So you would have to have a screw loose not to take advantage of a tool like that, I would submit.
And I don't disagree with you. the type of learning that I see most useful, because I don't learn in the typical method. I have an unbelievable memory, and I can read stuff in a book and then later see someone do it. And the combination of having read the technical method of how that's supposed to take place and then seeing someone professionally do it, when I start doing that thing, it's usually at a higher quality than your usual first time trier, you know? I always just chalk it up to beginner's luck, but really it's that I've probably read the technical manual on that particular activity, and that's all there is to it.
And if it wasn't for ChatGPT, we never would have had Harmony Unleashed.
That is true. And I've had a couple of people ask me to revisit that, but oh wow.
We still haven't found out the identity of the maestro. We've been on that cliffhanger for like a year now, probably.
I'll participate in anything you want to do, bro. If you get up the cojones and you want to try to lay out the next season of that, I'll read it. I'll even pitch it to a couple of my buddies over here that do voice.
Yeah, one of these weeks I will do it.
I wouldn't blame you if you did, bro. It was definitely interesting and different. You know. That's
true. I wonder how much more detailed it would be now. I mean, I wonder how much better the large language model has, because it has to be better now than it was a year ago.
True. That would be
because I used to tell it to go into great detail, but there was only a certain amount of detail it would go into. But I bet we could get more out of it now than we could then. Just a guess.
I did the Shawshank Redemption as rendered by ChatGPT, if written by Tarantino with a bunch of other guys, and it was very much an enjoyable read. The whole thing went off without a hitch, and it was tons of fun to do because it was different. It wasn't the Stephen King version, you know.
Yeah, and there's actually a big trend taking off on wrestling YouTube right now, where they they tell the AI machine to fantasy book, you know, famous pay-per-views from the past, or famous feuds from the past, or famous matches from the past, and then they just make a whole YouTube video about it. I mean, I guess it's kind of a cheap shortcut, but some of the stuff is pretty funny.
Well, I mean, it's like that AI bit that we just looked at with Sydney Sweeney. That never happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. I'm lining you up, bro. I'm getting it.
Boom.
Right. Okay. AI is going to save all the pretty people. Is that going to improve or detract from American culture? Because the way I see it, it's like this. You got small town people and you got big city people. Big city people, generally speaking, want to live in the big city. They grow up, become big city people. You have a very few small section of them that move somewhere to the country and become some sort of traditional whatever. Or they don't. Yeah. They just in the country. However that goes.
Well, and city dwellers also are orders of magnitude more likely to fall in for the ugliness and nihilism version of culture that's been prevailing for the last, decade or so.
What do they call the modern architecture now? Postmodern brutalist?
Yes. Because it, every new building has to look like a Czechoslovakian apartment block from 1968.
Yeah, it's pretty grotesque. I mean,
it is pretty grotesque.
There's a giant butthole in like Chicago or somewhere currently, and we've got a statue of an angry black woman. There's several of them out there now. There's a few bronze statues in America of angry black woman, like of differing varieties. You have the
fat black woman staring at her cell phone. That's yep. We used to raise statues to great and important and well accomplished personages from the past. Now we just do random fat black woman with cell phone, and apparently the one is supposed to replace the other and be just as good, but nah, it doesn't.
I don't see it. And here's my next question. The pendulum's swinging. If we are in that golden age that is foretold by our ancestors of the future of plenty, right? The mid 50s sci-fi writers would be absolutely embarrassed with us. They are turning RPMs in their graves right now because they told us about all of this.
I often wonder what George Orwell would think about some of this stuff, because he got a lot of things right, but there's a lot of stuff that he couldn't have thought of even on his most pessimistic, most nihilistic day.
Heinlein, bro, I would really like to sit down to a good bottle of scotch and about an 8-hour conversation of what Heinlein thinks of the modern era. I believe that would be a very enlightening conversation. And we may
that would be quite illuminating indeed, I think.
Right? Asimov would be another good one.
Yep.
Because he also sort of not really predicted, but we're on the cusp of some of the things that he predicted. And it's terrifying. And
yeah, and it's the sci-fi writers who often get a lot of near future stuff right, more so than any other kind of person does.
Yeah, and they have a tendency of thinking farther in advance than
and just as H.G. Wells did 130, 40 years ago.
Sure, bringing us full circle to how bad the War of the Worlds movie is. I don't mean to keep beating an already dead horse. I can't help thinking that there has to be some aspect of this film that I've missed, and that I should just go back and rewatch it. Surely it'll come to me, right? I don't think. No,
it's really that terrible.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, it is. Trust me.
Okay.
I gave it the good college try.
Was it as bad as Ironheart? Did you try Ironheart at all?
I made it through one Ironheart episode, and then I did my Ironheart video, and that was all I needed to see.
Right? Oh my God. The whole idea. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the part I really, really don't like about this. The heroes, quote unquote, heroes in both cases, one is committing full-blown treason on a daily basis casually, and the other one is perpetrating industrial espionage casually.
Yeah, I mean, grand larceny is her day job when she's not being a student.
Wow. And these are heroes. These are the heroes.
Yes. These are the people we're supposed to admire.
You're supposed to look up to this guy who turncoated on the NSA because they were doing naughty things. So I got one last tidbit I want to bring up to you. I want to do it real quick. Secret rooms at the FBI. Secret rooms. So secret rooms at the FBI means that there could be an awful lot of files just hanging out in places that we don't know because the FBI has secret rooms. It confirms.
And whatever documents are in there could be from God knows when. Who knows when the last time somebody was in that secret room? The knowledge of that secret room existing could have been highly compartmentalized. The last guy who knew about that secret room might have died 40 years ago.
Exactly. So secret rooms at the FBI makes my heart swell.
It kind of confirms all of the things that we've suspected for so long about the FBI, you know, as much as I hate being right.
Exactly. I don't know how far down that rabbit hole might go, but there could be some. It's kind of like the secret files of the Vatican or something, right? These are files not even known about by the FBI because they're hidden in an FBI secret room that the FBI doesn't know about.
Yes, that's where we are now.
That's where we are now, man. And I used to say there's either 5 or 6 cartels operating on the American border, or the CIA is absolutely, or the CIA is operating them, because either the CIA is inept or they operate the cartels. So I'm starting to think there might actually be cartels down there. If the FBI from themselves,
yeah, well, that's probably a topic that requires its own video. But yeah, Am I doing the thing? Are we gonna
right
play
there.
out on the
We're gonna
song?
play out after you do the thing. Right after you do the thing.
I'm going to do the thing right now then. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks ever so much for watching The Blast Radius tonight. We sure do appreciate it when you spend these 90 minutes with us on Sunday evenings. Thank you to whoever's watching SummerSlam Night 2 for not spoiling anything for me. I'm going to go home right now and watch it from the beginning with Lady Curmudgeon. And they unheel turned John Cena. Can you believe it? They reface turned him on SmackDown on Friday. So who knows what's going to happen? It probably happened already, but don't tell me. And we're going to watch my song right now. And then you're going to watch my stuff and his stuff this week. And we'll see you next time and watch the song and then get off my lawn.
That was fucking beautiful, dude.
Who can it be knocking at my door? Go away, don't show your badge no more. Can't you see that it's late at night? I work tomorrow and it is nearly light. I just want to be left alone. Don't want to talk to Inmigracion. I think you hombres should just wait outside. Out the back window, I'll jump and run and hide. Kian can it be now? 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 I have a dog and I have a wife. We have a very happy little life. Jose Jr. is due any day. Unancla, baby, then I am here to stay. I've done no harm, I keep to myself. Just jump the fence like everybody else. I like it here, please don't cut my hands. Don't wanna go to fucking Alligator Alcatraz. Kian can it be now? 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 The Negra band come to take me away. Where are they taking me? The only future that I can see, San Luis Potosí. Oh yeah!
I'll say what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over there. We're gonna get them. Thank you, folks. Appreciate you coming by. Gorsk.